Ooh, I like that sound. It's like it's both a filtering and going down in pitch. It's a really interesting way to start because you usually want to hype things up, and she's chilling it out. Interesting choice. Oh, why am I playing this? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. That is an analog sound. That is from the Black Keys. And what that sound is analog. It's tape. Back when we would record, we would put things on tape. Now that has a markedly different sound. She's going for this aesthetic, and this is not a new idea. That, what you just heard, is analog. It's tape. Here's what it is when it's kind of like fake tape. You might have heard this one in your life once or twice. Yeah, I love that one. Anyway, that is kind of like faux tape. So that's what we're going to be hearing a lot of in this track for basically the entire thing. I think it sounds pretty cool.
Hello, girls. Hello, Beyonce. Hello,
Hi.
fellas.
You're pretty swell. She has the hey boys. The boys are just the women, but pitched down, which that's kind of funny. Hey, sound like Eddie Vedder there. But this chatter reminds me of this. Right, that kind of call and response that happens. It definitely has its origins in gospel, but in terms of like that call and response, that hey girls, you definitely see it in stuff like the Weather Girls.
Petty ones can't fuck with me. Cause I'm a
Say it like that.
girl.
You are clever, Beyonce. Take credit where it's due. Call and response, always a good idea.
We snapping.
Okay, rhythm. This entire song plays with rhythm and tone with rhythm like crazy. We're going to be talking a lot about that because it goes nuts off the rails.
Pretty place. Tom's place. We want to welcome you.
You know how hard it is to get me to dance and bobble my head? Do you see how white I am? The amount of color correction that I have to use so I don't blind you is cray-cray. That's crazy for people who, aren't white. We're getting a lot of different percussion on the P's. And when she does with the P's, you're going to hear the introduction of the toms. Those toms are the lower drums that are going to come in. So we start with the snaps, and then we're going with the toms. Let's take a listen again. It's kind of delicious.
Tom's place. We want to welcome you.
So already we're dealing with an incredible soundscape, okay? We got snaps, the call and response, that this kind of insanely saturated, almost analog sound. We're going places.
In a rodeo chilling circus, we gonna make it do what it do, YaYa.
Are you gonna make it do, even the rhythm, are you gonna make it, I think that's it. So we have 16th notes, and then there's some eighths, and I think there's a triplet in there.
Put them hands together. Clapping.
Oh, okay. Ooh. So I use an auto jump cutter, and we're going to bring that back because my auto jump cutter, my auto jump cutter done messed up because she paused immediately right in the middle. And then there's also the introduction of the guitar. All right, so there's this dramatic stop. Now this guitar tone is very reminiscent of Jimi Hendrix. There are other guitar players that are referenced in here, but take a listen to this example that I have of Jimi Hendrix here. You're going to hear it, I swear. Back then, it wasn't a huge priority to make every sound of the guitar huge and massive and chonky. We also used a fender, so the attack on the string was much more dominant. The toms, the vowels, the percussive nature of the consonants, all of this stuff is coming in very highly rhythmic. Also, we have a tambourine. You can hear that plucking of the guitar. Right there, we heard glottals. Glottals are what happen when you take your vocal folds. Let's remove these bits and bobs. You take your vocal folds and they come together and they're hold together. They don't move. close those folds and the sound stops. Actually, kind of more or less, people think that that's what the vocal folds were from an evolutionary standpoint, had more utility for, were more useful for. If you've ever lifted something heavy, you're like, that's your vocal folds using their sphincter to stabilize your core and your breath and all that stuff. Keeps your spine in a good shape, but it's not great for singing. However, you can do it in certain ways that is really cool and provides rhythm to vowels, whereas you don't need consonants. Ya, the way that ya ends abruptly is a percussive choice. Now that guitar, that guitar is more idiomatic of like beach rock. I think like the Beach Boys or 1950s, a little bit more Elvis-y. But it's kind of like almost like a hollow body guitar. Very interesting tone quality. Ooh, USA. I love that nasality on the end. I don't like calling them backup singers because they're phenomenal singers. But yeah, the backup singers. Phenomenal. A new America. It's very hard to do that and not sound swallowed, and there's a reason for that. I actually learned this from beatboxing. So, if I bring up the epiglottis right here, and I bring up the tongue right here, you'll see that the tongue is right adjacent to the epiglottis. So what does that mean? The tongue can pull down the epiglottis and push it down, and then you can contract your shenanigans right here to bring the arytenoids up, and then the arytenoids can rattle against the epiglottis. That's what creates that growl distortion. Now, here's the trick. Remember how we talked about the aryepiglottic sphincter? If we haven't yet, we will. The aryepiglottic sphincter can raise the larynx and add this nasality, this bright sound, right around 2,000 to 3,000 hertz. So when we have this swallowed sound, if we do that, yeah, but then we contract the AES, right, you get a brighter sound. So you go from and you can contract in various ways. I don't growl. I'm an opera singer. Don't look at me for the tonal quality. I'm here to talk about the principles, not demonstrate pristine growling. For that, we go back to Beyonce. Before we get back to Beyonce, we have to talk about how this music is being driven. We've talked about percussion, but there's a vibe here. There's the vibe that kind of reminiscent of, I don't know, the 70s? I need somebody help, not just that. It's close to it, but it's not quite right. What are we missing? When we get to the Beatles and Help, we're having a 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of vibe, but that's not what Beyonce's doing. She's doing something more akin to... Yeah, that's right. Sly and the Family Stone, that track gets on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what we're dealing with when we're looking at the music Beyonce's making here. It's a little bit more driven forward. Now, the problem with this kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 is you can get kind of in a march. In fact, marches are in 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, da, 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 da. So to bring it forward, you generally need a lot of different kind of rhythm ideas, which is why in hip-hop, that downbeat is so important. That kick and the downbeat in rap and hip-hop is essential. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4. See what I'm saying? Rhythm! The white person! The chronically Caucasian, the person that can walk in traffic and cause an accident if the sun is too bright. What's cool is that the growling is not just the only thing that's going on. There's a sassy tone, with a contraction of the aryepiglottic sphincter to get this sassy tone. And then there's the belting. It's almost like this track that I really love that we've already played, but I gotta hear it. Have I mentioned I am white? Very, very white. I'm a disappointment to my mother. Because there's white and then there's chronically Caucasian. It's terminal.
Insurance ain't gonna pay.
She's bringing the growls. She's bringing the energy. We have the 1, 2, 3, 4. We have the crazy rhythms. Then we have the growl and the energy. Where's she going to go from here? Let's find out.
No Fannie Mae. Shit. So who is home? Please, hardworking men ain't got no money in a.
Okay. That's the thing. Where are you going to go? How are you going to hype it up? How do you take crazy hype and then hype it up? Take a step back. Shit. Pause the hype, and then you can bring it back, and then it's hype again.
The YaYa. Turn up the vinyl and the radio. He can't watch the news nowadays.
That's right. He can't watch the news. Why would I? When there's only one thing on the news ever, all the time, always. I cannot stand it. It's just killing me softly, and we're not going to talk about it. I love that. The way that the snare hits with her vocals, boom, it gives it that pop and that emphasis. And now we're going into some sort of psychedelic-esque kind of breakdown here, almost like a Cream, like with Clapton. You can also throw Jimmy in there. Purple Haze, you know what I mean? After this, I think I might go on a Jimi Hendrix listening spree. I think I'd be totally justified in doing that. But yeah, very psychedelic in that little break there.
Fuck it. We shaking.
And then we're coming back to this kind of poppy, right? We're coming back to that poppy vibe after all of this intensity. So it's a great way, it's a really smart way of shifting. Hype, and then pop. Oh, okay. All right. All right. We're jerking and we're twerking. You know what the last one is? We're going to keep it out of the gutter. This is a quasi-family-friendly video, not necessarily channel.
You wanna touch it, don't you? Come get this genie in the bottle. Come rub it, won't you? I'll pop it. I walk it like.
I feel like that's maybe a Britney Spears reference. I'm a genie in a bottle. And then, you know, like, I don't know, maybe, or maybe it's just, you know, like the genie in the bottle and rubbing. Huh, these lyrics might be provocative. Christina Aguilera that did Genie in a Bottle? Might be Christina Aguilera. Did I mention I'm an opera singer? That guitar in the back just screams Jimmy. Oh, it's so fucking good. Pretty sure it was Christina. Oopsies. I'm glad actually she mentions the guitar because there's so much of it going on. And there's also, we're going to hear it in a little bit, there's a little nugget. There's a smidgen of awesome amongst a lot of the awesome. You're going to hear the guitar change, okay? Keep in mind what we've been hearing so far with the guitar, okay? We've been hearing a lot of stuff with the guitar that is Hendrix-esque, but the tone is going to get different. That attack is going to go away. It's going to be fuzzier. That guitar is going to chonk. It's going to that sound is going to chonk up over the course of the next few measures. And there's a reason why she's paying homage to a lot of different artists in this track. Ooh, that's fun rhythm. Okay, what? Hold on. Okay. Thought that was the thing that happened. That's some dangerous, risky stuff if you're not, like, good. It's a belt, and then she brings up the areoepiglottic sphincter. She brings that up to kind of create this rattle. The distortion of the AES can get tricky. The AES contraction, it doesn't like a lot of breath at all. So the more you contract it when you want to get that grindy sound, you need not a lot of breath. Add to that it's AES is part of the recipe for belting. So you're already kind of there when you're belting. However, if you fuck up with air when you're belting, you're getting this, right? Oh, here's an air buildup. Here's the folds that are really fat. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, too much air. Boom, vocal hemorrhage. You start bleeding as if you're wearing your ring on your finger and you hit your hand. Ouch. But the point is that it's very difficult to do in a way that's not dangerous. And so that's why people say it's dangerous, but it's not if you do it correctly. You have to have incredible breath control. And your valves have to be very efficient. You You know she's using that AES contraction, the aryepiglottic sphincter contraction, because it goes into this kind of nasal quality, but it's not nasal. There's a difference between, oh, yeah, and then, oh my God, Mr. Sheffield, listen to how my voice doesn't change when I plug my nose. Oh my God. But if you do that, and you do it like me, and you're using too much air, it's uncomfortable. But you can do so much with the AES to create that distortion. Here's what the beatboxers call vibration bass. What I'm doing is I'm vibrating the vocal folds on a vocal fry. Whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm adding the AES contraction in there for the distortion. Whoa, 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 whoa. And it adds another pitch. It does, like, AES distortion is really cool, but it's easier for me to do that low because I can put that air in there. To do it high with the belting, that's nuts. Oh! Oh my God, there's a lot of ways to do distortion, and we talked about some of them. There's the epiglottis, and then there's the contraction of the AES to get that going. It's kind of incredible how many tools you have. Hear that chonk on the guitar? Right, we're still in Hendrix land. We're still in Hendrix land, but we're going somewhere. In the meantime, there's still a lot of Voce to discuss. Here is more Voce.
From Texas to Gary, all the way down to New York City.
Oh, man, the rhythm is so cool. It's so good. There's so much different playing. This is the thing. It's so easy with making a record to copy and paste, but Beyonce never does that. She's a brilliant recording artist, like really good.
Big Daddy, you so pretty, so pretty. Got these love in my mouth, and I don't take them out.
Ooh. Okay, we're getting a swallowy kind of thing. Intentional, the tongue goes like, except she uses it much better than I did, and much better than Eddie Vedder. Oh, wow, okay, all right. I hear that a lot about the grits. I hear that a lot about the South. I was questioning the legitimacy of that. And then I went to the South and I had good grits. And I gotta tell you, if you can't fuck with grits, get out the fucking country. Ooh, hear that rhythm change? That's just the change, like boom, 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 with that snare and that clap. Then they remove it. They just remove it, and the vibe changes so dramatically. We have to hear it again. It's so good. Whoever that bass player is, I want to just give them a pat on the back. It's so good, so funky.
I just wanna shake my ass.
Here we go, here we go. You hear the guitar change? We're going places. It's happening. I've been talking about it for the last few minutes, but here we are, finally. We have arrived almost.
I just wanna shake my ass.
Ooh, those vocals sound familiar, don't they? Wait a minute, wait a minute. I think I've heard this before. Where have I heard vocals like this and guitars like this? Oh my God! Oh yeah, baby! She's paying the respect in this album to so many freaking artists and genres. This isn't a country album, it's a Beyonce album. Am I shamelessly quoting Beyonce? You bet. You bet I am.
And Loverboy, it's so fine. Ooh, you got me losing my mind.
Listen to these overdubs. They're so good. The way that you have to balance when you're doing overdub and you're doing this kind of sound with that AES contraction, and you have that with the guitar, balancing that is tough.
But you gotta keep the faith.
That tone on the guitar is nasty. It's so good. Oh, I love it. There's like fuzz going on. I wish I kept up with the guitar. It's a wonderful instrument. Ooh, guitar harmonies. Yeah, buddy. One of my favorite things. That's a very video game thing nowadays. The dueling guitar thing. That's much more. That's like almost metal in a way. Oh, okay, yeah, we're going. Listen, we were Hendrix, we were Prince. Now we're going into metal territory. We got rhythm, we got tone quality, we got growls, we got timbre changes in the voce, we have different guitars, we have a lot going on. Oh my god. I don't even know what this sound is. I don't know what it is. I don't even care. How do I do that without like destroying myself? I got nothing. Listen, all right. You want me to sing an opera? I got you covered. I can do that. I can sing an opera for you. Want me to do this crazy shit? Nope. This is a very specific kind of singing. But it's also, she's borrowing from so many different genres. This is why it's important if you want to study voice, but you're not married to opera, you can study with a classical singer, that's fine, but you should find somebody who can teach you a lot of stuff. And that's hard, because usually someone who's studied classical has put a lot of effort in, and there are a lot of voice teachers who, haven't. God, I want to say shameless plug, but, there are people other than me that are really, really good. Voice Hacks does a lot on distortion, a lot. That's her jam, is like metal distortion and screaming. And she's a professional, she's in a band and tours and all that shit, so Voice Hacks is really good for that one. Usually you'll find that there are people who specialize. And if you're interested in picking up something specific, you should probably go to a specialist for that thing. But anyway, that's it. To me, it's just like these are hyper specific, like tonal strategies that she's picked up. Fucking incredible. It's so good. And you can see that not only can she do that with her voice, but it reflects in the album. There's a lot going on in the album.